What's up guys, Jeff Cavalier, ATHLEAN-X.com. Today we're talking all about free weight versus bodyweight exercises. Is there one way you should be doing your exercises? Is there a better way for you to do them? Well, we're not going to just do that today. We're not just going to compare exercise versus exercise and point out maybe where those advantages come, but we're also going to try to instill in you something called exercise equivalence. If you had access to one or the other, but not both, which exercise would you swap in its place? If you wanted to be able to do a weighted pull down, but you didn't have access to a machine, what's your best option? I'm going to go over those for you guys one by one here, dealing strictly today with the back exercises. And we're going to kick it all off here with the first up, our vertical pulling movements. So when we're looking at our vertical pulling movements, we're looking for exercises that allow us to travel up and down in this frontal plane. And we have a couple great options here. We know if we go body weight, you're looking at some version of a pull-up, or if we flip underhand, a chin-up. If we're in the gym and we have access to a lat pull-down machine, we'd be looking at the same type of motion. It's still going straight up and down in this frontal plane. Is one better than the other? Well, first of all, again, exercise equivalence. These exercises are going to accomplish very much the same thing in terms of how they load the back and the back muscles in particular. But there's something that we're actually going to look at more closely. If we look at the pull-up here versus the pull-down, a lot of things actually do look similar. The arm travels the same. If we keep our arms in front of our body as you should on the lat pull down, and you keep your hands and your elbows out in front of your body as you should on the pull up, then you're going to be protecting your shoulders and performing the exercise for the benefits that we know it can deliver. You can actually add extra weight to the pull up as well, so you're not even really being dwarfed by the stack of the weight that the machine is providing you versus what you're using with your own body weight, if you had options to do that. The fact is, it gets a little deeper when we look down here at the hip flexors. If I had to give the advantage here to the pull-up for a reason, it's the tremendous core benefits that it gives you as well. When my knees are not locked underneath a pad like this, that are relying strictly on the upward push of my hip flexors into that pad, which is offloading the load that the core should be doing, then I'm going to get a hell of a lot more out of doing this pull-up because I have to control the sway and prevent that extra sway with the strength of my core. But again, from a back standpoint, you're getting a similar effect here, and this would be your exercise equivalence. If you only had access to bodyweight versions here, the pull-up would replace the pull-down. Now, if we wanted to go underhand and get the biceps a little bit more involved, we would go with the chin-up or the underhand lat pull down. And once again, you can see the comparison here. We're getting a lot of the same benefits for the lats. Because the elbows come out in front of the body, they place the lats on more of a stretch, especially in the up top position. So whether you're at the top here with the pull down, or whether you're at the really bottom of the rep, but the top arm position here of the chin up, you're getting that good stretch on the lats. The initiation of the movement, though, is going to come a little bit more from the biceps because they're in this perfect position to contribute. The forearm is supinated, the elbow's out in front, and when you pull, you get that extra activation of the biceps. So again, on an exercise equivalency, these two match up pretty good. As you can see, though, once again, guys, these exercises all are working the back. There's not a muscle that goes unworked here in your lats, in your mid-back, in your upper back, making these great exercises regardless of which one you choose. So next we move on to our horizontal pulling movements, and here with a barbell, there's nothing more classic than the barbell row. This is a classic for a reason. It's the best thing you could do in this plane to develop your back and your strength and progressively overload this exercise. As a matter of fact, it has additional benefits. It's ground-based. It allows you to train like an athlete, like we always say. And it also demands some additional stability of your low back to perform the exercise safely. Now, if you don't have access to this, though, what are you going to do? Remember, you got to look at the movement pattern to find the equivalent. And the equivalent here is with a bar, actually, but it could be a broomstick if you don't even have access to a piece of equipment here. And you put it across a couple chairs and you do the exercise I'm showing you. This is the inverted row. See, it's all about relative motion. Instead of pulling the bar to my body like I do in a row, I'm just pulling my body to the bar. But the muscles that are doing the job are still doing the same work. They're still pulling in the same plane, and they're still trying to pull the weight, whether it be in the form of your body or the barbell, in this same direction. So we're going to work these muscles the same way. And if you're looking for ways to scale it or make it more difficult, or you're worried that this isn't going to give you the same type of overload, you have ways to overload this. You can change the position of your feet. Get your feet out further away from your body. Straighten your knees out. Put your feet up on top of something to make it even harder. All these things are going to make this exercise more difficult by making you have to pull more weight. As a matter of fact, I can add some weight. Maybe you got an old weight plate thrown around somewhere in your basement. Put that on your chest, and now the exercise becomes even more difficult. So regardless of whether you're training with free weights or your own body weight, you've got an option. And then finally, we talk about something that doesn't get talked about all that much, or not enough for me, and that is how we train our straight arm scapular strength. It matters. Actually, it's critical to not just strengthening all elements of your back, but to providing the benefits of strength on all the other back exercises you do, including the ones we already covered here. So we need to do this. And if you're in the gym, my favorite way to do this is with an exercise called the straight arm pushdown. And you see here it needs a cable machine with a bar. But it allows us to do exactly what we're trying to do here, and that is we train with our arms straight, elbows locked out, looking for that adduction, getting the elbows down and into our sides, still getting that same stretch we were getting the benefit of on the underhand pull down, but isolating this so that the lat does the initiation of every single contraction, demanding that the stability of the shoulder blades is there in order to allow us to perform each rep correctly. But what do you do if you don't have access to this? Are you screwed? No, you got an opportunity here, guys, to do something else. Remember, you got to find the same motion and mimic it in a bodyweight environment, and this is what you would do. You do this inverted straight arm pushdown. It's just a modification on the position we just had here. You tuck your feet way underneath you, because what you're going to do is you're actually going to be sliding your body far back behind the bar. See, those arms are still going to do this. They're still going to go from a position here to a position here, but because they can't move because they're on the bar, you're going to have to move your body back, and you can see that happening here. If you push hard and initiate with the lats once again in this position, your body will go backwards, and that's because of the job of the lats. Same muscles working, different relative direction. Instead of moving the arms down, you're moving your body away from those arms. We can accomplish the same thing, guys, and if we have to, and we're looking for an even greater challenge, you can do something like this. And this is a challenge even for me. This is a front lever raise. This is a more difficult version of straight arm scapular strength, but it's doing the same thing. You can zero in once again. The position of the arms is also doing the same thing. It's closing down that angle from somewhere up here to somewhere closer to our sides, all because of the strength of the lats, pushing down into that bar and manipulating your body in space because of it. So guys, I hope you found not just these exercise equivalencies helpful, because again, regardless of what training environment you find yourself in, I want you to have an option to be able to swap out to. That's going to be one of the main benefits of this series. But beyond that, even if you had access to both of them, in all cases here, are there some advantages from one versus the other that you should seek out, especially if you know where your weaknesses are? They might allow you to actually work on them a little better now that you know what those advantages are. So if you found the video helpful, guys, make sure you leave your comments and thumbs up below. If you want to see more of these, let me know what kind you want me to cover, and I'll do that for you in the days and weeks ahead. If you're looking for programs that make these smart exercise choices, because they matter. If you make the right choices and you know what it is you're trying to accomplish in a workout based on the goals that you say you have, then I know how to get you there the fastest, because I know which exercises are going to get the job done. We build those all into all of our programs over at ATHLEAN-X.com. In the meantime, if you haven't already done so, guys, make sure you click subscribe and turn on your notifications so you never miss a new video when we put one out. All right, guys, I'll see you soon.